We are officially live, and this one is going to be historical. Tonight on the SL Digital Media Podcast, we have Kathleen Bradley Red, and we have Jazzlyn Soul Facebook. Um, we also have Nate Moran, the meme. We have Lena Shockley, Hazra, uh, Bada Boom, Bada Rum. You got to work with that one. And DeMonica Flye. Okay, we're gonna get it started. Marc Cayce is on his way. Just flew in from a helicopter or something. I don't know what it was, but he's here. So, DeMonica, it's on you. Ask Kathleen and Jazzlyn, how's the journey?
Hi, good evening, everyone here. We're live on the Scarfo Live show, and we'd like to welcome each and every one of you all in the house this evening. So, Kathleen, thank you for coming on the show this evening, and Miss Jazzlyn Soul, thank you for coming on. And also the co-host, the one and only Miss Lena Shockley in the house. Yes. Hey. Hazra's in the house.
Yes, from Egypt.
Yes. And we're all over the world. Mr. Nate Moran in the house.
Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing, everybody?
All right. You know, Kathleen, I just got to say something. I just want to say happy birthday to you. Yes, you had a birthday recently. Happy belated birthday.
My balloons, honey.
Yes.
Yep, sure did. It was a big
happy birthday.
Thank you for coming on the show this evening. We really appreciate it. And we're just so elated to have you on tonight. And I just want to know, starting off here, how did you start your journey in the business?
Wow. You know, actually, I'm from Ohio, and good place to be from. And I started out at a young age, actually. I always wanted to be in the entertainment industry, and even in school, high school, what have you. Then I knew I wanted to come to Los Angeles. So when I graduated, I came to Los Angeles and got into beauty pageants and sang and did what I needed to do because I was a singer long before I was even an actress. I got with the singing group called the Love Machine. And actually we were with Motown. The Miracles wrote the song The Love Machine for us. It was supposed to be sung by us, but that's a long story. But, you know, and then from there, I just always knew I wanted to be in entertainment, acting, modeling, and what have you. You know, I'm a very physical, hands-on person. You know, I did a little college, but wasn't for me. So I do encourage it, though, people. Get your education.
Yes, indeed. Now, at what age did you start modeling?
Oh, I was at probably 16 when I first started modeling back in Ohio and did a few little catalogs. And, you know, wasn't much opportunity from my little hometown of Girard, Ohio, which you probably never heard of, near Cleveland, near Youngstown. But I was 16, and, you know, I had some photos and pictures, styling and everything, what have you. So it was just a lot of fun. You know, I always enjoyed it. Like I said, I just really knew what I wanted to do, where I wanted to be, and that was out here in Cali. And I made my way out here. I actually had what I call my sister, my big sister. They're from Ohio. She and her mom and family had just moved out the year before I came out. So, you know, I really am very grateful to them. Otherwise, I don't think I would have had the nerve to come out by myself. I was not that adventurous. You know, some people say, well, why didn't you go to New York? But right. I wasn't really thinking about the Big Apple. That was really even more scary than coming out to LA. But it all worked out, you know, thank God.
Yes, indeed. You know, I understand you won Miss Black California. Tell the viewers about that and the listeners.
But you know what was even more exciting before that? I was Miss Hot Pants.
Oh, okay.
I was Miss Fine Brown Frame.
Yeah.
I mean, not more exciting, but I was. You know what? That's what I did leading up to being Miss Black California. So, and I do encourage the younger girls and women to enter into pageantry. You know, right? It's a great platform to be seen, to be heard, and the camaraderie and sisterhood, what have you, and especially now being on the social media platform. But I was Miss Black California, 1971. Can you believe it? And I had the opportunity actually to travel with the Miss Black America tour to Vietnam, Thailand, and a couple of places with the USO tour. That was probably one of the most fulfilling times of my entire life. You know, you always would hear about Vietnam or the war, the fighting going on there and how devastating it was. Plus, I had a brother who was in the service over there at the time, and I got an opportunity to see him and spend some time with him. It was so awesome. I cried. It was just so overwhelming, just but so fulfilling. And it led to other things for me as well.
Wow. You know, my other question is, you know,
not to cut nobody off. Marc Cayce is here. He just flew in from Peoria, so he's in there.
Hey.
Well, good evening. We got Marc Cayce on the line, flying into the show this evening by pontoon and plane. No, I'm just playing. But welcome to the show, Marc.
Thank you.
Thank you. How was your journey there?
Go ahead. Don't let me interrupt. You was talking. Go ahead.
You know, Kathleen, I wanted to ask also, how did you get the position with one of the most largest game shows in history, The Price is Right, and to be the first African-American model on the show? How did you land that?
You know, it actually came at such an interesting time in my life. I had an agent, and CBS, The Price is Right, they were actually the year I got on there in 1990, but 1989, they were looking for African-American models or minorities. See, all of CBS actually, they had little or no minorities, like on the soap operas, Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, all their programming. So if there was a demand put out, and they were looking for a black model to be on The Price is Right. Well, The Price is Right had actually been on since 1972. And all those years, 17 some odd years, they had never had a black model on. But they auditioned hundreds and hundreds of girls over a period of time. And, you know, at some point, I did live tapings and what have you. And I just really blended in well with the other models, because actually Janice, Diane, and Holly, they were not spring chickens by no means.
Right.
And so they wanted somebody within their age range and not somebody really much younger, which they had a variety of age range models try out. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I just was the right choice. I could have told them that at the beginning. And it was just a perfect fit. It was a great run for 10 years. I mean, it was amazing going to CBS, working alongside Bob Barker, and just being in the environment and the atmosphere. And that, again, led to other opportunities for me. So, you know, it's just been a great ride for me, for my life and my time, and doing all that I've been able to do.
Right now, Lena, do you have any questions? I know you have some questions for her.
Well, right now I'm trying to help all my people get on. They're trying to watch it. So I'm trying to, you know, direct traffic right now.
Yeah.
But I've always loved Kathleen's pictures on the TV. I always enjoyed watching her on the TV, and I was very proud of her, seeing her on The Price is Right. That meant a lot to me, you know, because I always watched Price is Right when I was a child and everything. And so, you know, it was exciting to see a black woman actually being on The Price is Right. So thank you for,
you know,
great.
That made me feel really good too, to be able to represent and get all the love and hug from the mothers and the grandmothers and students. A lot of the college students would take their classes and go and make it around The Price is Right so they could not miss their class. It was really great.
Yes. Awesome.
You know, and then who would you say are your two largest inspirations, male or female?
Ooh, boy, that's a good one. Two largest inspirations. You know, I don't know. You kind of caught me off guard. You know, I
always do that. So it doesn't have to be with acting or modeling. It could be, you know, in the family, like,
well,
you know.
Yeah, actually, it was my mother. She's passed on now, but My mother is such a wonderful, funny, great lady. And I used to actually have a show called the Kathleen Bradley Celebrity Roast I used to do here in Los Angeles. And I'd roast like Glenn Sherman, Eloise Ross, a lot of big celebrities. And one time my mother came on. She's so funny. She said some things and some jokes and stuff. And the P-U-S-S-Y word in a joke, everybody fell out. I said, Mother! And we had all these crowd of people and stuff. And I have photos I just looked at, because I put some pictures together for my birthday, and I saw that, and that was just so endearing. I got a lot of her humor, her drive, her personality, her love for humanity, her kindness and caringness, and her drive. I mean, definitely without saying, she was my female role model. And as far as a man, I can't really say one right offhand right now.
Okay.
Do that. I don't know.
And I know you've been in so many films such as Grey Anatomy, Harlem Nights, and Friday.
Yeah.
How did you go about getting that role in Friday? The infamous role in Friday.
Funny you should ask. And once again, being on The Price is Right, Ice Cube, he would watch the show all the time. And when we were doing the movie, and he said, I want that black lady on The Price is Right to play Miss Parker. This is what I heard, the black lady. And I had an agent. Somehow they sought me out, and I went in for a little audition. They pretty much had me down to do it anyway. And that's how I actually got that role. So see how things have catapulted and rolled in my life and my time and world, and knowing people and being around folks. And a lot of the things and work that I've done in the industry have been through knowing people, and that have invited me to do work such as like with Marc Cayce and people that I knew. And the reason why we did this movie, I was going to say A House Divided. That's a TV series I'm on, but A Day of Trouble. And he knew me. He knew my work, and he had been to my house, and I threatened him, so he gave me a job.
And I was getting ready to ask you about how did that come about, of meeting Mr. Marc Cayce and starring in his films. Yeah,
well, yeah, we work around on the same circuit with people and different things of that nature, and so I knew of him and his work and what have you, and his lovely publicist Marie LaMelle, she knew me as well, and it kind of and Chicola, one of the main executive producers on the show, the part was just kind of like right for me, and they asked me if I would be interested in it, and I looked at the script, and I said, yeah, it would be, really very good. And a lot of times in this industry, you do things not so much for the big money, and sometimes there's a lot of low budget movies, and there's after SAG, low budget, different things, because especially for the black people trying to get their product out, we have to work with one another. So it's always good, obviously, to have a couple names within the scripture of your movie to help promote it, so people will go see it and make it a little more credible or what have you. And I was on board. I liked the script. It was fun. It was sincere. You would cry, you would laugh, and it's got a lot of great elements to it. And I was very happy and surprised. Not so much surprised, but to see the final product. And it came out actually January 5th. And people can see it. And I encourage everyone to actually watch it and see it. It's a good movie.
And that's the movie by film director we have on here right now, Marc Cayce. That's The Day of Trouble.
That's The Day of Trouble. Yep. Absolutely. On Amazon Prime, Google Play, and also Redbox. It should be on Apple in a few days, but right now it's on Amazon, Google Play, and Redbox.
I don't know what it is, but his mic sounded really good, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Oh, it was all crisp and everything.
Because we got to get those views up. It's important that independent studios get the same support as the major studios. Very important, like Kathleen was saying about independent and low budget and stuff like that. It's important that we support one another, because the system has changed quite a bit now. So streaming now is just as important as going to AMC. That's how streaming has become that important, because all the majors are taking a lot of the spots now on Netflix and Amazon and all Hulu. They're taking a lot of the spots, and so to get on any platform right now as an independent is a blessing, because it's like truly is like going to Regal or Regency Theater now, because streaming is like being in the theater these days when you're on a real platform, you know.
I don't think nobody ready to go to the movies right now.
No, I don't think so. I don't want to sit in those rocking chairs.
Yeah, this chair got a little extra something on it right now. So.
I can deal with the popcorn and butter and salt, but not that.
Just to throw a little, because I started off as sales, so to throw a little tidbit about the movie, we actually shot the movie down by Crenshaw and Slauson, not too far from where Nipsey Hussle has the Marathon clothing line, and where he passed away. So we literally was blocks away from that location, which mean a lot to me, because I'm in Los Angeles. I've been in Los Angeles about 30 years, so it's special to me. And I used to go to that corner all the time, the Marathon corner, where he owned the store. So I dedicated the movie to him and to John Singleton, who was my mentor at USC. Well, he graduated before me, and I came in behind him. But A Day of Trouble is pretty much it was a day of trouble in a sense, even trying to make the movie.
A couple of days of trouble. We got through it. Lord knows you got to go through it to get to it.
We got through it. So, and it's amazing because we got a walk-on part by Roland Martin, the political activist, I should say anchor. He used to be on CNN and TV One, and now he has a platform on Facebook and YouTube and all this other social network platforms. It's like television now. Roland Martin blessed us with a guest appearance, so you'll see him in the movie. And I don't know if you guys talked about Hawthorne James, Big Red.
Yeah, I was going to mention Big Red.
Big Red is in the movie, but you're going to see a little bit of culture of South Central with the Crip and the Blood. These are old heads, so you hear a little bit about the culture that's a reality in South Central. A Day of Trouble. Yeah.
All righty. All right. So who's the next question?
Yes. Okay, well, I'm going to go on for both of you guys. Actually, all three of you. I'm going to introduce once again here. Jazzlyn Soul's on the line now. Jazzlyn. Jazzlyn's also an actress, film director, songstress, and she's working with Marc Cayce on one of the films that's coming out soon, Last Chance to Dance.
Yeah. Well, let me get a segue. So give it a little bit more background. After I did A Day of Trouble, I did a string of other films that will be coming out soon, and I went to do a movie about a man who got killed in a car with his girlfriend and her child by a police officer when he was just reaching for his wallet. He got murdered, and the movie is called Black Skin, and we shot it in Minneapolis, and that's why I met a lot of the Minneapolis folks like DeMonica and like Jazzlyn, and we continued on and did another movie. Me and Jazzlyn did a movie in Miami called Last Chance to Dance with Debo, Tiny Lister, someone that me and Kathleen shared appearances in movies with. He's done 2 of my films, but I actually happened to be the last film he was on, called The Last Chance to Dance. And then finally, I'm currently in production with a movie called Minneapolis Sound, about the people that Prince left behind, and that's something that Jazzlyn can kind of speak on because she's from Minnesota, Minneapolis.
Yeah, so
and she's producing it, by the way.
Yeah, yes, I will be producing the movie Minneapolis Sound. We had interviewed several people. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, yeah. So we had interviewed already several people. We still have a few more to go. We'll soon be in Atlanta interviewing RL. We interviewed Sherelle. We interviewed the Maserati, the old Maserati, new Maserati. We interviewed a lot of people that had dealings with Prince or, you know, just a part of the Minneapolis sound. So me being a singer myself, I thought this would be a great experience, and to actually put a spotlight on Minneapolis, you know. So this is going to be great. I mean, we had the stories from people that have never been told, the good, the ugly, the great. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this project with Marc Cayce and Miss DeMonica Flye, who is also the co-producer of Minneapolis Sound.
All righty.
I'm excited about that. I know it's a touchy situation to talk to you and Kathleen about the late, great Debo, and I just wanted to ask, you know, working with him, Marc, over the years, you know, what was it like? Because you always see Debo as this, you know, he was a professional wrestler, and you see him as a hard person. I mean, what is he like in person? Let the viewers and the listeners know what kind of person he really was.
A gentle giant. That's what I would classify him as a gentle giant. He was one thing I liked about him the most was his work ethic. He was really about his work. I mean, he didn't care if it was a Marc Cayce film or Luc Besson, you know, the great director from France, you know, who did The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis for $100 million. And then he does a small movie with me. So, but he treated my set just like Luc Besson's set and I thought that was special. He was one of our major actors that he worked with that's famous that I won't mention because this person is working right now, you know, on a hit TV show. He actually screamed at him and checked him for sleeping and being drunk on the set, and I thought that was special because I can only do so much. Because when you deal with celebrities, sometimes they kind of go off if you're not giving them their regular rate. You got to kind of let them get away with some stuff that they can't get away with the major studios. But Tiny kind of stepped up for me and checked this man and said, "Hey, look, let's get this movie done. You know, he's spending money at this mansion. Let's get this done." And that was one of the things I thought was special of him to even grace me with coming to do my films and then, you know, being on bigger films than mine. Not to say mine was major, because I think mine is major. But yeah, he was a special. Put it like this, it still touches me today, you know. And when I saw TMZ today on my thread, TMZ thread, he actually changed it. In his name, you know.
I have a question. Was his name as a wrestler? Was his name Zeus?
Yes.
Was.
He was awesome. He was. Yeah. I saw him in Posse, in the movie Posse. He was awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's right. He did Posse. He did a lot of films. But yeah, I actually, didn't have work with him personally per se on the movie Friday, but I knew him prior to Friday. My husband's friend who he grew up with was like best friends with them, and we'd see each other out on occasion. And then, of course, on Friday we had a few little events and parties, so we rekindled our friendship. And I actually just saw him last year, this time in January. He, myself, and Angela Means, who's Felicia, bye Felicia. We all were at the Comic-Con book signing and festival they had in Texas. And nice. We all stayed, in the same hotel together for a couple of days and just hung around. We did a Q&A for the audience. And, I just watched people as they approached him to ask for his autograph and stand in line to get autograph, just a chance to meet him. He's a very scary person. You think, he has that persona with that bad eye. Like, what do you want? Leave it alone. Would you get out of here? Come on, give me that. I'll sign this. People like that. That's who, how he kind of represents for the most part of Debo for what, what have you. But like what Marc says, he wasn't just a giant. He was really in a lot of pain, actually. when we were at the event. He had just legs and knees like arthritis, very, very terribly. He could barely stand. I don't know how he did work when he was with Marc. But for the most part, and he was, a very God-fearing person. He was very God-fearing. He had Jesus, God in his heart and his love. So I know that's, he's up there, up above.
How did he get started in Hollywood, being that he was a wrestler? What did you guys hire him because of his size, or what was the reason?
Well, I hired him for his fame.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think he used to get hired. I think he used to get hired for his uniqueness. There are a lot of look at all the wrestlers, Arnold Schwarzenegger, The Rock, and everybody who started out. And they do have some notoriety and a small audience that people like to see. And so for his uniqueness, he just kind of fit into certain roles. Now, how he got to become the president of the United States in The Fifth Element is way beyond me. That was a strange occurrence.
Yeah, actually, I kind of messed up because when he got that role afterwards, when I put him in my movie Forbidden Fruits, I didn't know that Luc Besson, the director of the movie he played the president, was from France. And I didn't take Tiny with me to France, to Cannes, which I should have. He said, "That's where you made a mistake. You should have took me with you, because we'd have had carte blanche, because that was one of the years that Luc was there with the film, and he would have gave Tiny Debo the red carpet treatment." So, but he did tell me that originally that Luc wanted that person to be the first black president, and he wanted him to be of that statue, like the Debo statue, like a real man. But one of the inside, and I go ahead and say it because it's something sweet, he opened up to me about that was a very, very big movie, because you had Chris Tucker, you had Bruce Willis, and then you had Luc Besson. So we talking about a big $100 million movie, and he literally looked at me and said, "Man, my agent didn't know how to get the money, man. I supposed to get way more money than I got, man. My agent just dropped the ball, I wish I could just redo it," because he actually became friends with Luc Besson, and Luc kind of told him, "Hey, we would have gave you way more than what we gave you." And that's sometimes what happens. We don't know our worth sometimes as actors or producers or singers, and sometimes we're so happy and desperate we don't know that hey, we might can get a little bit more money, and that's what.
That's right, Marc. I want to renegotiate my contract.
They're doing contract deals and everything tonight.
I knew that was coming. See, no more Hollywood stories from me. I'm gonna pass the mic to you, Kathleen.
Hey, believe me, we have all been down that road, man. Work for little or nothing, or kibbles and bits, and find out somebody working next to you, getting 10 times that you are, and doing the same job. It's a little stab, but it is what it is. Lessons learned.
Yeah. Well, see, also, because obviously when I do these films, I don't get my quote. I used to get a big, I lived in a mansion, so I used to get a big quote myself. But now that I'm doing these movies myself with investors, I don't get my normal rate, if you will. And I hate to say it, sometimes my normal rate is the cost of the whole film that I'll be shooting at the time,
But use other people's money.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. So what was your first big movie, you think?
Kathleen? Tell it. I think he's asked you that question.
Well, you know what? I actually was in a movie called Perfume, written and directed by Dr. Roland Jefferson, who should have never really directed it, but he wrote it. And it's about a lady named Vashti. And it was actually, we started Ted Lange, J.D. Hall, we had Eugenia, a lot of different people, and who else was I trying to think had a big name, but I can't think of it. We shot that back in '87, and actually it was a really great movie. Willie Hutch did the soundtrack, and it just never really kind of got off the ground. But oddly enough, you can go on YouTube right now and watch it. It's called Perfume. I even have a nude scene there. I know people want to see that.
Okay.
Okay. What about that what about that one controversial movie Friday? There was a whole lot going on that. So, what about that? How was that working with Ice Cube and all of them at that time? How was that experience?
You know, actually, once again, I only really physically worked with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. And the day I worked a couple of days on it, because you remember we shot that movie in 30 days. That was monumental. It set a whole precedent for a lot of films, a lot of movies, and for the budget that we worked with. And thank God we had F. Gary Gray as a wonderful director who's gone on to do tumultuous things. And so it was fun working with them. And actually, I met Regina on there. Regina. Last name's eluding me.
Regina King.
Regina King.
Who's
in
life
right now, doing her thing. I need to get a hold of her.
Yeah, big time Regina King. You got to add that. You got to add big time now.
She definitely.
Anna Maria Holford. And she and I are still very good friends to this day. And as well, I didn't really meet Felicia back then, but I know her now. And a few other people and characters, and John Witherspoon, bless his heart. His wife and I are very good friends. We've been friends forever.
That's a funny dude right there. John Witherspoon was funny.
Yes, he was.
I mean, it was fun on the set, but it moved so quickly, and most of the scenes were done outside for the most part, and it was just, in and you're out and what have you. So, but it was a great experience, needless to say, and I feel so fortunate to have been a cast member, a vital part of the whole movie and that whole Black culture, where we just set precedents, like I said, for movies in general, and to make money out of people. It's funny to me this day, and I've seen it so many times. It's that kind of gut busting. You don't have to force a laugh to watch and see it. It's just really so incredible. There'll never be another like it. They tried the second one and the third. Just wasn't the same.
You caught Ice Cube and Chris Tucker also at they was really good in that movie. It was a great comedy movie.
Everybody, everybody. It could not have been more better casts. Like I said, Felicia, Angela Means that was in it, John Witherspoon, the father, Anna Marie Horton, King. You even had Megan Good, little Megan Good, making little.
Yeah, Megan Good was in it.
And Tiny Lester and AJ Johnson and wow.
But you know what did it? Y'all said y'all wanted to just do it, and when y'all did it, it became iconic because y'all all wanted it. Sometimes that's how it happens. If everybody can want it, it's going to fly like y'all just did it.
But you know what?
Even though y'all was working on a stimulus package.
Yeah, but that sounds good in theory.
Even though y'all was working on a PPP.
But seriously, I mean, you can want it all, but it has to come, and Marc will tell you from, first of all, you have to have a good script. If you don't have a good script and the writing is not right, you can't really project it and make it real. And the thing about it, F. Gary Gray gave us such creative license as actors to be ourselves. There was so much improvisation in that film. It made it so, because everybody was funny, pretty much. I mean, you have a bunch of comedians. Bernie Mac, as a matter of fact, my minister, and my little husband, Tony Cox. Can't forget about them. So think about it. Everybody was just improvising to such degree it worked. It just worked. The combinations, just one of those things you do like in a lifetime that just works.
Yeah. All right. Who's the next question there? Nobody?
I have a question. I have a question for Marc.
Here we go.
Yep.
The film Nikita Blues, what inspired that?
This young girl was stealing clothes in her mother. In real life, I was listening to Stevie Wonder's Station driving, going to work in LA school. No, I was out of school at that point. And it was KJLH, one of the think it was Cliff Winston or somebody that was on the radio saying it, and someone talked about a young lady was stealing clothes from where she worked at and was selling them in high school. And her mother found out about it, and when she tried to approach her mother, she ran out in the street and got hit by a car. And I thought that was a really dramatic story, so I actually wrote it as a short film because at the time, short films was the way to get in. And so I wrote Nikita Blues as a short film, and the short film version actually has Timac from The Last Dragon. He played the love interest of the little girl, the 16-year-old girl. And then there was a female who played Nikita. But when I got the money together to do, when I did it, HBO actually loved it, and they put it on. They played it on their short film segment, and they asked me to do a feature version of it. So I rushed and did a feature of it, and the person that was in charge of production at HBO got promoted or left, went to another department, and I was left in limbo with this script. So by the grace of God, I found people who believed in me, and I went back to try to recreate the feature version of Nikita Blues. And Timac at the time, he did want to do it, but then the young lady wanted a whole lot of money, so I wound up going and getting the girl Essence Atkins, who's was on a Smart Guy show and who's done essences and everything. But I put her in her first film. And I got a young man by the name of Brandon T. Jackson who did Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller and Big Mama House with Martin Lawrence. I'm the one who put Brandon T. Jackson in his first film. So, I launched both of their careers, Essence Atkins and Brandon T. Jackson, in that film, Nikita Blues. That's how I was inspired to do it. It was a story I heard on the radio. And,
It's very touching. It seems that, from watching it, I identify with it, looking for love in all the wrong places because there's so many people out there trying to get, fillers for, for different things. So to me, it was very inspiring. And on the movie Forbidden Fruits, the story identify with me because I'm in Egypt and I'm an American and in love with an Egyptian married here, and the story is Muslim and contradicting in belief and system. If you want to share a little bit about that one.
Yeah, actually, the young man, the Brandon T. Jackson, the comedian, he was actually living in Bloomfield Hills, and I was working with him on another project, and he actually went to a gas station and was flirting with a Chaldean girl, which is a Catholic Arabic. When you become Catholic, they don't call them Muslims anymore. It is a Chaldean. Right. So she was flirting back with him, and her father came out the back and kind of made a big deal about it. And I said, man, this is a movie, And I said, let me write a movie about you falling in love with this Chaldean girl, and that's how I started. I wrote the movie for him to be in the movie, but then he got too big, and his agent, he went over to CAA, and they wanted a whole lot of money. He wound up doing roll bounce for Bow Wow. While he was shooting roll bounce for Bow Wow, how he got the role, he actually got the footage from Nikita Blues where he was skating, gave it to Malcolm Lee, which is Spike Lee's cousin, and that's how he got the part. By doing my little film, got him a bigger part with Bow Wow and Malcolm Lee and Megan Good to do the movie Roll Bounce. But back to Forbidden Fruits, that's how it was inspired by Brandon T. Jackson's real life situation in Bloomfield Hills. He couldn't get with a Arab or Chaldean girl. And then I've heard some of the stuff in that movie is actually real. A man.
I watched the trailer. It seems that's definitely a watch for me on my list because I saw the trailer.
It's a part in there where an Arabic Muslim man kills his daughter when he finds out she's dating a black guy, and that happened in real life. He threw it in a garbage can in Dearborn, Michigan. So I took that story and put it in the movie.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here in Egypt with the differences of people and the culture and the mix, and it's like I said, definitely a watcher for me.
Okay, thank you. Let's don't forget A Day of Trouble, Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I watched
today. I watched
Play.
Day of Trouble.
Did you see
Last
it already?
Yeah, it was excellent. I watched A Day of Trouble last week on Redbox. It was excellent.
Okay.
I watched it with a group of people. We had a good time.
We've been getting a lot of
Who's
good
your
reviews.
who's your two favorite actors?
Actually, the gentleman who played Kathleen's husband and
He was a hoot. I thought that was really interesting. And Mark gave us Mark not only starred in it, he was also obviously the director, producer, everything. So, but I still can't believe. Can you believe I played Mark's mother? I can't.
Wait a minute. What are you trying to say?
It was fun. We've been getting a lot of good reviews from the movie, and like Mark said, actually we have a great captive audience that people are at home and watching things. And people, they see so much. There's so much out there, but you see so much too. It's like, well, what can I see? So that's why we thank you guys for allowing us to be on your show and using it as a platform to promote our movie, because Day of Trouble, you got to check it out. Yeah, we must.
Yeah,
most definitely.
Get your drinks. Get your food, get your pie.
You know what I like about the movie too is, and Mark's movies especially always have a message in his movies.
Right.
And so, Mark, with that being said, who was your influence in the film industry? So, who was your major influence?
Cooley High, Michael Shorts, which I was blessed I got to meet him. He did a movie called Cooley High, and literally every time I watched it as a kid, I cried. And I was able to meet Glenn Thurman and the other gentleman, I can't think of his name right now, that played
Lawrence Jacobs.
I got to meet Lawrence. I mean, these was like idols for me, and I actually met them at different major celebrity events. Like one of them I met at Eddie Murphy's house. Eddie Murphy normally throws a little barbecue. Larry Jacobs. Yeah. And that was my inspiration to getting in films and making movies. Would be Cooley High and Michael Schultz. And then I will move forward and talk about the current time would have been John Singleton for me, because he was my type of director versus Spike.
Rest in peace, John Singleton.
Yeah, rest in peace. Spike Lee was more artsy, and John Singleton was more real. So I kind of fell into that era of the way he directs. So if you look at some of my movies, it has the feel of John's movie and the feel of Cooley High, if you really look at it good, hard. Yeah.
Would you see yourself, Mark, making movies about the Capitol, the siege on the Capitol, or Civil War element that we're going into right now? Is that a touchy subject, or is that something you think you could help?
Well, I have a movie that's kind of current times with it has black and white issues and the Confederate flag in it. I have this hillbilly white guy who plays an awesome character in the movie Black Skin with Jazzlyn Soul and quite a few people. The guy from The Wood, I can't think of everybody's name right now, but we have a star-studded cast for the Black Skin movie as well. So that's kind of cool. That kind of correlates for what's going on with Trump with the rallies, because of the Confederate flag and things of that nature is in this movie that I shot in Minneapolis. Yeah.
Well, here's a part you probably didn't put in the movie. They were smoking weed in there.
In where?
In the White House.
In the Capitol building.
There was a guy. I got something on the inbox where somebody was walking around something. I smell weed, and then he started smoking it.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a lot going on in that White House.
You know what's scary about that whole thing? We all have worked hard to create a democracy, all people here in America, and yet anytime any of us speak up about it, people attack us. They think we're part of some kind of Chinese conspiracy, and that we've been paid to speak up against Donald Trump and what they're doing as far as white supremacists. our ancestors went through this, and we're going through it again. I mean, it's this constant nonsense.
It's coming full circle on a whole nother level, and it's sad. I really can't get started on it because I'll say some words that come out of my mouth that people will say. That ain't that nice, Miss Parker or Miss Price.
Breathe, Monica, breathe.
No, I want to say something. How you doing? My name is Nate Miranda Mime. When y'all spoke on that, I'm a veteran, and what bothers me, I served for my country, and I respect the flag, and now I look at the flag a little different. Honestly, it bothers me a little bit because of the fact that, I look at it when I salute the flag and I serve my time for my country, and now I have to look at the flag a different way, and it hurts me sometimes, But I just want to share that. But I got a question for both of you. What would you tell someone who's really wanted bad, and how would you tell them to go for their dreams, and how? See, my motto is never give up and always take a minute to smile, because I was a homeless veteran in the streets of New York, and I always try to inspire people to never give up. What would you tell a person if they want it? How would you tell a person to do if they want to get to that level, the levels they want to get to?
Well, me personally, I am a motivator, and I'm so optimistic. It's sickening sometimes. I really am. I'm just an optimist. And like I said, I'm a motivator. I've motivated people, girls, especially young women, because I know I'm somewhat of a role model, and I have something too. And I believe, and a lot of actors and people say, you're a role model. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Well, if they choose to do what they do, that's on them. But I still think as we women that have a special stature in this business, that we are looked up to by these young people. And we do have a special certain responsibility to, at least when we're out in public or making a speech or doing things, just try to uphold that. Because there are people out there inspiring to be like us. But you do your craft, take some lessons. There are all kind of things on the internet that you can learn how to act, how to model, how to speak, how to write. There's so many different aspects in this industry. It's incredible to be in the background, to be a gaffer, to be a runner, a showrunner. It's endless. A makeup artist. All of that is so much needed. And that's what I want to tell some of these young people who think they want to just do acting. That's great. But think about sometimes coming in the back door and doing some of these other aspects in the industry. And it shows you and teaches you certain ways how to be in front of the camera when you're in back of it. So learn, do what you got to do and go for it. But get a job. Better get a job. Don't quit your day job. Get the education too. Get your education. There's always room for it. There's a lot of actors and actresses who have made it to multi-million dollars and money acting, and they're going back to school and taking classes and getting their degrees. So,
You don't walk around ignorant. It's called ignorant.
That's right. That is so true, Candy, but you don't want to do that. You know what? I don't want to forget. I'd be remiss if any time runs out and I don't show my book. Okay?
I was going to ask that too. That was my next question.
I know Mark might want to answer the other question, but I'm going to let him answer it. But just in case, this is something I wrote that I was inspired to do. Once again, people, and it falls into your question. I think everybody has a story to tell, right?
Yes.
It doesn't have to be turned into a screenplay. It doesn't have to turn into a poem. You can do a spoken word, whatever. Sit down, especially at this time of day that we're in a pandemic and you really don't have a lot to do. It's Friday, you ain't got nowhere to go, you ain't got shit to do. Right, okay. Right. I wrote this book out of a kind of a dark place at one point because I didn't get put off the show in the right manner, but it's very funny, it's engaging. You can go on Amazon and get it, and I've had a lot of good, reports about it. It's an easy read. It's a lot of fun. But people write your life story. People say, well, I'm not a famous person. I don't have anything to write about. You always have something to write about.
Everybody has a journey.
You went in the hospital and got sick and you got this and on the way to the joint. There's so many creative things people can think and write about. Man, do it.
Yeah.
How much is the price of your book? How much is the cost of your book?
I think this is a hard hardcover. I don't have the hardcovers anymore. But I think Amazon, I think somebody did order a hardcover. It's like $26 for the hardcover and $19.99 or $22, within that range. You know, it's got a lot of great photos in it. I love pictures. You know, and books. I like to look at the pictures. I'm not a big reader myself. If it don't have pictures in it, I don't read it. I shouldn't be saying that. But I love photos. I do. But it was after a while. So write, people. Write.
Did I say something? I got a book out too. The Mom Speaks. It's on Amazon. I wrote it to inspire people to never give up. I told my story, my life story. To
is that MIME? Mime?
Like a mime, yes. I do mime. I do a type of dance.
Yeah, he's a mime. Yeah, he's a mime.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I love it. Oh, since the mime. Okay, I can't see him. Like, where my glasses? Good for you. That is so incredible. I see it. Oh, I love that. This is very artsy. That takes a lot of concentration and work to convince people what you're trying to convey without even speaking. That's the art. Great art. Right.
Yeah, I try to tell a story. I do mime off all music from gospel to R&B to country western. I try to bring a story to life. I don't disrespect women in my mime, and I don't disrespect the world. But anything else, you know, I bring to life, from country western, rock and roll, whatever way you want. I tell a story. I got to bring it to life. You know, I was brought back to life, so I want to pass it on to when I perform.
And we definitely need a light, especially what just happened at the White House. You know, we don't need nothing negative no more after that, you know. And by the way, he got impeached twice. But back to y'all again.
Yeah, we need to get that. Senate has got to get him out of there for various reasons. We don't need him not getting out, and then after he retires, spending $1 million travel expenses. You know, he'll get for life. Well, for $1 million, he'll get $200,000 pension for life. He doesn't deserve a damn thing, but his ass needs to get out. Him and his junior son. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. She's starting. 60s and 70s. I've lived through Vietnam. I lived through some of the violent times and the riots and stuff that we've had here. I've been through a lot of it. And, you know, I never thought I'd see the day again when this country has gotten so divided. That man is so evil. He ain't nothing but the devil and all his devil disciples. That's all that is. It's evil, pure evil. They cannot equate or even have an example of our Black Lives Matter to it. They should not even put that stuff in the same breath as what happened. They got a lot of damn nerve. And as far as I'm concerned, I hate to say this, they did not shoot enough people. I shouldn't say it, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Yeah. I don't know why they were so bad. Ever since the beginning of time, they've always had a problem.
You're finding out there's so much conspiracy and inside jobs from some of the senators and the people that worked there, that it was a planned, orchestrated operation that happened that took place. You know, it's coming to light. A lot of them boys gonna be sitting in jail, prison, wishing they hadn't. This one guy talking about he only eats organic food.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. I ain't gonna say it.
Don't
do it. Don't do it.
I don't care. I'm angry. I'm fed up. You know.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
Yeah.
Especially all black young people get killed. Go ahead. Y'all brought it up now.
Can we hear a little inspirational song from Jazzlyn? Is there anything she can cheer us up with regarding?
Yeah. Come on.
Oh, I can't even.
These are dark days for America. I'm telling you, this is the darkest time.
It is.
Cho, help me out, D.
It's a Jazzlyn original.
Well, I want to just say too that I'm Jazzlyn Soul, singer, songwriter. I write films. I wrote a play called My Mama Told Me. That's about domestic violence, HIV/AIDS, and gun violence. And we did very well in Minnesota when we performed the play. Sold out both shows. And looking forward to, when this COVID is over, to put on the play again.
How many characters in your play, by the way?
Oh my gosh. You know, I have learned a lot from doing that play, because I had so many people. The whole crew was like 20 people. You know, it was a lot. It's my first play, but the message was great in it. I mean, it was a comedy, but it was it was a drama, and we didn't want to make it seem as though it was like a lecture, so we did a lot of comedy first, and then it hit you with the reality. So yeah, it was great. I actually wrote a spin-off movie to it, me and my writing partner Keeson. It's called Charmingly Psycho. So it's like the play, but it's on a whole nother level. So I'm looking forward to getting that film. Hopefully I get a director like Marc Cayce.
Nice.
But yeah, and I also do music and everything, and I have a show coming up in Sarasota, Florida. So I'm still trying to do a little.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If you guys could put your links in the comments section. Have people watching from Ghana, Egypt, Nigeria, all over the world, and I want them to be familiar with the African American experience as well as the white experience, because it seems like the white experience is promoted everywhere, all across the world. But I want them to know about the talent of the African American experience as well. So if you put your movies and books and things like that in the comments section, so they can go and check it out, and support you guys, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, always try to promote yourself. Oh, okay, we got this guy. He's been trying to come in for about a half an hour. Are you going to say something? Okay, next part. Let's go. We got a couple books on here. Mark had I guess he's doing something else right now. But we got this guy right here. Lena, I know you probably know him.
Yes, he's a curator at the Luxor, at the Karnak Temple, and he's in Luxor, Egypt. Mr. Hagag. Yeah, so he's watching live from Egypt just to come out. Yes. Wow. So thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Fly out and meet him at the Luxor Temple.
I'm too happy to watch this fantastic show.
Yeah. And we're supposed to meet him at the Karnak Temple and do a documentary on the Karnak Temple and the Nubian people of Aswan, Upper Egypt, ancient civilization, ancient Egyptians. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I remember I told you I need a camel ride. I ain't get the invitation yet.
Me too. You guys all come out to Egypt if you want. You can ride my camel and see the pyramid. An experience.
Y'all doing it real
You get a personal tour, Scarbo.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anybody got anything else to say?
I had a question for Mark, but I guess he's gone. So
I'm here.
He's right there.
Oh, Mark, my question is regarding the guy from Black Panther, Chadwick. What was it like meeting him, and now that he's a legend? Because that was one person that I would have loved to meet and talk to. What was it like being around him and meeting him?
Chad was. I actually got to party with him, if you will, a couple times.
Oh, now I'm jealous.
For the, I'll just tell us Hollywood story. I'm trying to be politically correct, but Disney did Black Panther, and they had it in Hollywood, and they had three theaters. They had the Chinese Man Theater and the Pantages. They had like three theaters, and it was people lined up, and it's amazing because I hate to say this, the powerful black people that I know in Hollywood literally couldn't get in, and they had us just waiting in the corner as they was pushing all these white people in, and I but we realized that Disney ran that thing, and Disney is a white corporation, and I won't even name all the famous black men and women that was literally had to wait before we got in, including me. And when we watched the movie, I actually sat with George Lucas, which was special. Star Wars, his wife is black. So
right, that's right. She is.
So I sat next to him, her and Janelle Monáe and watched Black Panther. That's something. That was a powerful experience. Having George Lucas on your right hand side and Janelle Monáe on your other. So after the film, there was a big party, and obviously, I do one-on-ones when I meet people, and I had a talk with him. I said, "Hey, listen, man, Denzel is going to get mad if you keep trying to walk like him." and listen, I've been around a lot of people, and I'm telling you, some of the celebrities you can't have fun with because they think they're bigger than life. And Lupita is one of them. And I don't care if Lupita, you can tweet me, text me, whatever. Lupita is mean. Lupita is mean. I mean, literally it's the second time I go to all the major events, and she is funky every time.
Does she snub you, or she just has kind of an air about herself, like she's
both?
Wow.
When I say snub, she talking to me, but not talking to me.
Yeah.
Then it's like okay, you can go now. One of those type of things. So, but Chad Boseman was just the opposite, and we had a good time, and we talked about Denzel back and forth. And then later on, the end of I think the following year, when it was nominated for an Oscar, obviously I was at the Vanity Fair and all the events, and I saw him again. And I, at that point, I had an entourage. I had Marie LeMaire, my publicist, Shakola, my producer. Everybody was there. So they all want a picture with him. So they know I know him. So it's like, "Hey, Chad, do me a favor." And he's like, "Mark, you got 100 people. Can we take it together?" I said, I don't want no more pictures with you, man. So I got my people together, and he did a picture with them, And actually, that was a very special night for me as well, because Kobe, I had a one-on-one with Kobe because Kobe won the Oscar for a short film, a documentary, and him and his wife were sitting there. It's funny because they gave us In-N-Out burgers at the damn variety at the Vanity Fair party. They have In-N-Out burgers. Anyway, so I'm sitting there chilling, and I see Kobe Bryant and his wife, and and it was special. It was a very he matter of fact, Quincy Jones was sitting next to them, and my entourage ran over to Quincy. And I've met Quincy so many times, it didn't impress me. But this was my first time having a one-on-one with Kobe, which I did.
Wow.
He wanted to get into a film, and we exchanged numbers, the whole 9 yards. Because he said, "I want to do a film now," because he won the documentary for. So it's just been a deep year for me, because a lot of people that I had personal contact with passed away last year, and Kobe was one of them.
Those are two of my favorites.
Yeah.
What was so deep for me, Kobe Bryant, in the Smart Guy comedy, the cartoon, they had him being killed in a helicopter many years before he actually was killed. That's
wild. That was wild.
Don't lock that up.
But that's just like with Prince, the same thing with The Simpsons.
Yeah.
They had him die in the elevator.
Not scary?
Is that right? Before he died?
Before he died.
Premonition.
Well, I hope they have.
It makes you wonder what's going on in there.
Right.
Yeah. Really weird. Really weird.
Wow, that is scary. That is not good. I don't want to be that big.
So all this cartoon with Trump coming out of the White House, does that mean something gonna happen?
I don't know. Wow. We're on a security alert here in Minnesota.
Everywhere.
January 16th, there's been a lot of, and matter of fact, all the capitals across the United States are on high security alert.
Yes, I saw that high alert.
Yeah, and they were talking about
waiting for them this time.
Oh, they're gonna be ready.
Yeah, they were saying purifying America. Getting rid of all nationalities but the white race.
Isn't it amazing how many ignorant people there are in this world? They did a poll. I was watching The View today, and Meghan McCain, she was on, and she did the poll. She said, "This really makes me sick." They said and asked if everybody who voted for Trump the last election, how out of the percentage, they said 95% of them would vote for him again. Based on all of this, they know everything going down. And there were some other high percentages in his favor that they would do, redo, or overdo again. It's ridiculous.
Now, I'm glad you said that. I don't remember before this was about him winning that one. Remember, that's what the impeach was about. It was about the thing with the interference with Russia, and remember that. So so think about it. He might not have even won that one neither.
No,
Right.
Yeah.
I said the same thing.
We all know what happened with that. So
it's ludicrous. Plus, he's so ugly. I hate looking at his ugly self. He's ugly.
oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Being ugly. I can make
what scares me is, okay, they have enough money and connections to purchase a very large island. If they want all white supremacy, they could invent their own laws and have their own island, and we would never be interested in going there to live, and they would never have to see anybody of color. I think that's a good idea for them, since they are very angry that we're all here. But technically, the Native Americans owned America, as I tell many of them, and they get upset. And I say, you guys just go look in the libraries. You guys got rid of everybody. You killed everybody off the land if they didn't move fast enough. And then you brought all the Africans here to work the land for the white man all across America and the islands. So, you guys are not fair. You guys came from Europe. And technically, you should go back to Europe or create a new island, all white island, and you'll be very happy.
Well, you know what it is, though? Some of the words that they have given to Black people, like from the hood, it really came from them because they were the original thugs.
Yes.
They were the original everything.
Yes,
and it's funny how they put that stigma on us.
Right. They're
the originators of all.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They stole everything from everyone's country all across the planet. They raped, they killed, they plundered. Yet they're angry that we don't want to be docile and quiet about it. I don't understand the mentality. It's insane. It's insane.
Well, put it to you this way: when somebody teach you as a kid to be a certain way, that's the only way you know it, because it's only being taught. That's all it is.
You know what the irony of that? What you're saying? One young lady was being interviewed on the one of the CNN or something, and she must have been 22 or something. Her mother was one of the ladies that they keep showing, who the Black sister decked this lady. Her nose was bleeding, all blood coming down her face and everything.
That was awesome.
Did you see that? And the young girl said,
"That was awesome
on TV." She said, "I was amazed to know my mother was out there." And she said, and the girl, the daughter, she stands for Black Lives Matter. She said, "My mother and I are definitely total different people, and we stand for totally different movements and what have you." And my mother had no.
She wasn't expecting that. She was not expecting that.
Whoa! And that's the irony, though. But most of them, I agree, are taught that way. You don't really wake up one day and say that you hate.
You're taught to hate another skin color.
Yeah,
they're teaching. They're teaching. It's ridiculous. It's
That's
crazy.
a very shallow way to think. Look at a person based on color. That's very shallow.
It's
very.
Oh, speaking about that too, Marc Cayce has a film that he's working on about Flint. Mark, can you tell the viewers and listeners about that one?
No, it's done. It's called Flint
It's
Hill.
done. Thank you.
Yeah, it should be out. Flint Hill should be out. Let's see. Flint Hill should be out by the end of February. It's called Flint Tale, Tale, just like a fairy tale. And Rick Snyder, who's the governor who was in charge of the water in Flint, he turned the water off from Detroit to Flint, which is like Flint is an hour away from Detroit. And the water got poisoned. A lot of people passed. 12 people died, and about maybe 700 people got sick with the Legionnaire disease. So I did a whole movie about that, but it's a little different than Queen Latifah did the movie first. She did a movie about her, so hers is a little bit more scientific. And they didn't shoot it in Flint. They shot it in Vancouver. So, you know, I actually moved up to Flint and you know, and shot the movie in all the neighborhoods. So it's even in the nightclubs and stuff there, you know, the Coney Islands, which is they call the restaurants there. So my movie is an authentic Flint movie, not like Queen Latifah. Yeah, I got a little beef with her. So that's another Hollywood story I'll tell you another time. But not Queen Latifah movie was shot in Vancouver. Marc Cayce's Flint Tale was shot in Flint, Michigan.
That's right.
You know, so we got Erica Peoples playing the lead with that. She's from True to the Game, and Hawthorne. Those are the two leads in that movie. Hawthorne James is in that film as well.
Who's a phenomenal actor, and what is it like working with him?
When you're dealing with a person that, like I told you before, like Tiny, a person that likes things done right, he likes things done his way. So it's a little different with him, you know.
Who are you talking about? Hawthorne?
Oh, yeah. Hawthorne likes things done his way because Hawthorne is a director also. You know, he's directed a couple of films. So when you have two directors' minds, sometimes you can have a little, you know, well, maybe this should go here, maybe this should go here. He actually wrote a couple of scenes. I allowed him to write a couple of scenes in this film, Flint Tale. So let him do so because I wanted him to be a part of just invested in the film as I was, you know, as far as caring for the people. And he wrote some powerful words about what's going on in Flint because, you know, Obama went up there and drunk the water with the same governor who they're trying to lock up right now. Unfortunately, our boy Obama went up there and they did a show. So a lot of people in Flint, they kind of sour with Obama because of that, you know. And now it's coming to light because the guy Rick Snyder is got indicted today and he has criminal felony charges. So Flint Tale will be, you know, it's definitely current times, if you will.
Well, I'm definitely going to be interested in that, you know, just to see that actually being, you know, y'all did it. So that's definitely an incredible thing for anybody to witness because, you know, you're getting you coming into seeing it to the point where, okay, now they done brought it to life now again so we can know it. And it's all about knowing this stuff. This is all information for real that is hidden.
And we have Karen Weaver was the mayor of Flint during that time, and her and Rick Snyder, the governor, used to literally get into it just like the governor of Michigan and Trump is getting into it now. And she didn't get in this year in office, but when they interviewed her, she was so excited that he was getting arrested, and it was kind of weird to see a politician, you know, agree upon seeing a Caucasian man go to jail. Who's a billionaire. Rick Snyder's a billionaire. He started Gateway. So so we have Karen Weaver, the mayor, in the movie. She's playing a character in the movie.
Wow.
I can't wait for that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. We can't wait for that. You know, Kathleen, what now with this pandemic going on and in this day and age, what are you doing now to just get through this?
You really want to know? You know what? Let me tell you about my day. I really keep very busy. I mean, I am so busy. It's hard being me. I always say that, you know, I need a twin. I think I am a twin. I leave myself in like a trail, like a super person. But I help take care of my 13-year-old special needs grandchild. He has Down syndrome. That is my heart. My daughter, she's a single parent, and she works quite a bit, and it's hard for her to, you know, just be stable with him all the time. And that's been one of the biggest blessings for my husband and I to help raise him. And now with the Zoom, kids learning and having, if anybody has children out there, boy, it has changed your whole lifestyle. Just getting up, getting the kids on the Zoom, take a break, get back to the next subject, take a break, have lunch. They got PE and music, everything. Aside from that, I have a company called the R Group, and it's an energy efficiency group. My husband's an energy engineer. My son works here. We work out of the house. We're working on different aspects for the COVID-19 to help with the air filtration systems. We do some big audits for the malls and hospitals and different things of that nature. And I'm CEO and also the assistant and the manager and HR. So that keeps me busy. And aside from just putting different projects together and writing different projects and putting together some videos and doing a few little things here and there for some work. I'll do a couple extra little parts here and there. Depends on what it's for, and if it's something special, I'll do it just to do the work. But right now, I'm not real interested to do a lot of the acting. A lot of the people have shut down their productions. There was up and running a little while ago, and since the COVID has got so much worse, nothing has really changed except now, thank God, we have the vaccinations. But before, it did change, and people were still acting out like it had changed and lightening up a lot, and feeling like their rights are being taken away by wearing a mask. But I just stayed so busy. But it's all good. God is good. I'm healthy. Like I just had my birthday.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
All these many things. Y'all can look it up and see how old I am. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm grateful. I'm blessed.
Yes. And Marc, thank you so much. And Marc, what would you say you're doing at this time during this pandemic?
I'm working. No. And yeah, I'm still shooting and filming. I just get around it. I go to the states that's open, like shooting in Miami and Atlanta. Those are two places that's still open. So I'm actually still filming right now. I'm actually doing the documentary. I'll be filming in a couple of days. The Minneapolis Sound, the people that Prince left behind. I'll be finishing up that some interviews with that, me and Jazzlyn, in a couple of days.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Yes. And Jazz, what are you doing now?
Working with Marc.
Wait, I'm muting myself. Actually, I'm working on the Minneapolis Sound, going from state to state, getting our interviews done with that. I'm also performing still. I got a show coming up on the 31st in Sarasota, Florida. I'm also doing like some skits and stuff, and writing on my films. What else? Oh, I'm getting static. But yeah, I'm still keeping busy, even though it's COVID and a lot of things slow down. But I'm still moving.
Yes, thank you. Any other questions? We have any comments on the show, Scarful?
I would like to say, from everything that's going on, and so many movies have been made with different presidents, different people, coming from Indian background, and our Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, if there's anyone would be interested in doing something with her, to follow through her with the monumental movement with her, making it to the first female also, and Black half and Indian vice president, with a plot twist that makes her president. I would be curious to see that.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow.
Well, that is wonderful. Anything else?
Nope. I have a very special project I have to really get back to working on.
Yes.
I wanted to take time out to be on the show right now, and it's dinner time for the kitties and for
That's
husband.
right.
They're looking at me and coming around and fighting them off. But I am working on a very special video project I have to get done, and I'm under a deadline, so I'm going to have to kind of bid everyone adieu. And I love you all, and you're doing a great job. Once again, thank you for
inviting us
onto the show.
Thank you.
We love you too, Kathleen.
A day of trouble. Your girl
Yes.
is in it. Okay. It's enlightening. It's got a great message to it, so you're gonna like it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's
Take care.
All righty.
Okay.
All right, are we done?
Yeah.
We signing out.
Yeah, we're going to sign out, and thank you for tuning in,
SL
viewers.
Digital Media.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's right. SL in the house. Thank you, Marc Cayce, Jazzlyn. So, thank you, Lena. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming on and listening. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Have a
me
good evening.
on.
Stay safe, you guys. Keep
Take
care.
care. Alrighty
Happy
now.
New Year, everybody. Take
Same
care.
to you.
New Year. Thank
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye from Egypt.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty.
Never give up.
Never give up.
That's right.
Yep. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you. You too. Thank you. Peace
All
and
right.
love.
Take care.
You too.